Hello, welcome to Nick and Arnett Stream, me, UI Whoopinator. Here we are for the Rust. Unfortunately, we got raided again. Tool cupboard has been destroyed. They did place another tool cupboard and didn't lock it, but yeah. Obviously, I wasn't around to defend myself from such an attack. Took out the wooden barricades as well. Yeah, it's we have a look, see what they tried to do. So we come up here. So they had a look at the turrets, saw that they were off. Now this is a thing, right? So you get batteries, you have to recharge the batteries and provide them with power so that they can charge up and power on your turrets and keep the turrets powered. But they don't last long enough. You can have the wind turbine that generates a lot more electricity, but even if I was to plan a base for that, being solo, it wouldn't have mattered. It would not have mattered one bit. They would have still come in, they would have destroyed that. Even if the turrets were online, they wouldn't have lasted long enough, and they could have come back at any time while I was offline to do this. They've come round, they've destroyed all this. It's definitely a team. There'd be too much for one person to do. Yeah, I've still got stuff there, but there is no point, I don't think, now. Yeah, it is what it is. So my thoughts on this game is solo is very, very difficult. It has been made it's been made into a game, in my opinion, that favours big groups rather than being able to defend yourself in a solo. I mean, yeah, okay, they did destroy the stone walls, but in the first time I got raided, you got people hopping over the stone fences and all the rest of it. And it takes you so long to get to that stage that it's not really a structural defence anymore. It just looks good. It doesn't really defend you as such. The metal walls could be stronger. I know you can build armoured walls, but I doubt even that would have stopped this, to be fair. There is just not enough defence-wise to be able to secure yourself as even as a solo player. You can't enjoy it enough. Like, don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed building a base. I've enjoyed what they've put into the game. Like, the telephone's quite funny. The fact that you can have batteries is cool. The fact that they don't last long enough is not cool. Turrets are really the only way in this game to defend from an attack like this, or any other attack from sides of walls. It's really the only way for it. The ranges are shit, unless you've got a bolt action on every turret, a bolt action rifle on every turret, or an AK maybe. Again, it takes far too long to get to them. Yeah, there are aspects of the game that I have enjoyed, and you know, it is a shame, but there is also a lot of tweaking that needs to be done to this game, like, by far, a lot of tweaking to this game. So yeah, it favours big groups other than solo players, and I think it's not very fair. I don't think it's quite in tune, but you'll get groups or clans that go, oh well, it's just your opinion, you know, we enjoy the game. Yeah, you enjoy it because everyone does everything for you, and then you come on and you craft a load of rockets and then you go and blow something up. That's pretty much the way Rust is right now, and it's a shame. It's a shame. I mean, I used to really, really enjoy this game, and you used to be able to defend yourself quite well, even if it was just stone walls and bear traps and this, that and the other. And you have to go and get gears for bear traps and this, that and the other. I get it, and you can do it, but you'd have to place too many down. It's too time consuming for a solo player, and that can be fixed by Face Punch, but won't be. Yeah, Rust is a good game, but my personal opinion is unless you've got a group of 4 to 5 players, or I mean this server says it's trios, or it's meant to be trio groups. I'm sorry, but there's a group upon a group upon a group, and even though they're 3 in a base, they're grouping up as 6s, or 6 plus, and they're going around, and you can't admin it. You can't tell me that you're actively adminning it. Even if I was to throw a report in, it would take you too long to sort it out. It just and then if players are to go out and say, oh well, yeah, but there are servers that say there's solo play and only solo players and this, that, and the other. But how do you know they're actively adminning that as well? How do you know there's not 4 or 5 or 6 different solo players, but they're all on Discord, and they're all going to attack you anyway? So and it's very hard to not stop that. So things need to change game-wise. They need to make it. They need to be able to make it so that the turrets or the batteries hold longer, so that it doesn't deplete in 6 hours, and you don't have to create 5 or 6 batteries to hook a turret on every single splitter to make sure that it does last overnight, or it does last while you're offline, or this, that, and the other. It ends up being just a pointless random circle. You've got power generator. You've got these generators run on low grade fuel. Okay, you hook 2 of them up, and you double the output. You double that into one of these combiners. Gives you 80 when they're on. When they're 2 generators, so they generate 40 each. You put them into 1 power unit, so it's 80, and you use that as a charge. But it uses low grade fuel so fast that you end up in a rut trying to get a load of low grade oil to be able to afford to keep power in the battery to protect you. It just ends up being an endless, and by the time they've actually gone off, because all the offliners, all the groups will do is wait, have a look to make sure the turrets aren't working, and they'll come blow you up. But you'll be offline by that time, because when you're online you can make sure that doesn't happen. When you're offline, you can't do anything about it. So it makes it a pointless rerun all the time. I get why, I get why there are groups, and people are playing it, getting the resources, and then people are coming on crafting and everything else. Yeah, it's all part of the game. Admittedly, it's all part of the game. But the game needs to change. There needs to be fundamental process in the game where a solo player can actually defend himself properly. And at the moment, turrets are the best way of doing it, but there is no best process unless you're going to spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, days in a row, to get 8 batteries, craft yourself 4 or 6 generators, farm a shit ton of low grade fuel, or hope that you make it to the outpost to buy from the market so you can buy the low grade fuel through scrap. It's just very shoddy and very shit. So like I say, there are processes to this game that I do enjoy. The building of the bases, doing the underwater labs, the minicopters fun. It's really a big shame that you can't put a code lock on a minicopter. That would be great. Would be nice to have a recycler to be able to build a recycler in your base as well. That would make it a lot better for definitely a solo player's point of view as well. Obviously groups would make much use of that as well, but to get into the game faster and to be able to get to a decent stage in the game early on would benefit. But the real problem with this game is the offline aspect of it, and that there is no decent way of keeping your turrets on without having to get tons of shit first and just literally just pour shit tons of time into it. And no, don't get me wrong, I get it's survival, but that's no, just no. But thanks to anyone who did come and join the stream. Thank you very much for the follows and come to see my progress on both the bases. This has been Rust Month. That's been my opinions. I've got many other opinions, but I'll keep it there nice, short and sweet. Yeah. Say goodbye to it. It was once something. It was once something. It's now nothing. What a shame. So, on that note, what we will do is later on in the evening we will go to. We'll do some Shenmue 3. No, we can't do that today. Tomorrow we'll do some Shenmue 3. And we'll get back into Nightmare mode on Shenmue 3, and we'll get back into Rocket League and Call of Duty and Star Citizen and all the rest of it. We'll go back into those games and carry on streaming those. But for now, I've been UA Warpinator. This has been Rust Month. It's been difficult, but it is what it is. At least we gave it a go. We'll play it again next year and see what happens, see what they've done in the game. But for now, bye. Yeah.